All right. Welcome, everyone, to the NYU Shanghai Your Academic Journey session. My name is Dan. I'm part of the NYU Shanghai admissions team. Really excited to welcome you all here today. First and foremost, congratulations on your admission to NYU Shanghai. This is an exciting time. I hope you're all excited. I'm so excited to be here to welcome you all. Today, we have a number of sessions, but in this one in particular, we'll be going over the academic experience at NYU Shanghai. There are a lot of things that make the NYU Shanghai academic experience unique. I like to talk about how NYU Shanghai students graduate not only in an emerging authority on whatever they're studying, but an emerging authority on China and China's role in whatever they're studying. And this happens through the classroom, through using China as an extension of the classroom, through your Chinese language study and internships and everything else. But today we have some time to dig a little bit deeper into the academic aspect of all of that. So we're going to get started I'd like to introduce our provost, Whaley Cohen, who's going to talk a little bit about the academics at NYU Shanghai before we continue the conversation with some academic advisors as well. So Joanna, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you very much, Daniel. I am Joanna Whaley Cohen. I am the provost. What is a provost? It means that I am the chief academic officer with responsibility for what you learn, how you learn it, and who teaches you. I'm also a professor of Chinese history, which I taught for 20 years at NYU in New York before moving here to help in the creation of NYU Shanghai. And I still teach every year here. I majored in Chinese studies at university long ago because I thought it was an opportunity that I might never otherwise have. And that was why I came out to Shanghai as well. I thought it was an opportunity I might never otherwise have. I came for 2 years, and that was 8 years ago. So NYU Shanghai is offering you a chance you might never otherwise have. This is not only because it's in Shanghai, which is the largest city in the world by population, a place where you can walk from the past into the future in the space of a city block, and is generally a very user-friendly, safe and easy place to live. Although those things are important, but that is not my point today. It's a chance you might not otherwise have because of the NYU Shanghai difference, as it will affect you as NYU Shanghai students. As a general comment, I would say that we take academics comparatively seriously here because we're not yet 10 years old. And so, unlike other established institutions, longer established ones, we think all the time about what we're teaching and how we're teaching, and we continuously assess and how we might make improvements, and we go ahead and make them if necessary. You should take as a given that you'll get a top-notch liberal arts education here at NYU Shanghai, taught by first-class faculty with degrees from places like Yale and Princeton and Berkeley and Cornell and so on. But here are some important parts. This is what I really want to talk about today, of the NYU Shanghai difference in terms of academics. First of all, and this is really important, a majority of your fellow students are not from the same country that you come from. Half of them are Chinese, maybe 30 to 40% of them are American. And I should say that both the Chinese and the American students are highly diverse in every respect. And the rest come from literally dozens of other countries. We got to 84 countries this year, I think. No other university in the world has that amount of diversity. And it's something that can't help but impact the learning environment in creative and positive and mind expanding ways that will stand you in good stead the whole of your life. From an academic perspective, what this means is that your classmates may have learned different things from what your education has so far focused on. They will likely have a different perspective from yours, and their learning style may be different from yours. And however much we talk about this, and however much you think about this in advance, nothing can quite prepare you for how different an experience that will bring you. So, for example, in my history classes, there are certain people who have strong views on a particular historical event or issue based on what they've learned in high school, and certain other people who hold equally strong views on the same historical event or issue, but those views are diametrically different from one another. And a third and fourth student have yet other perspectives. Each one has a point. Some people are more willing than others to speak up, and some are more hesitant. And all of this is well and truly colored by what they've actively learned before and by the assumptions and narratives they've grown up with, as well as the styles of learning that they're accustomed to, in ways that just don't happen at any other university I can think of. On the one hand, this can be challenging, but it's also mind-opening, as what happens is that everyone learns, for instance, that there may be different ways of looking at the same set of facts. They learn that it's possible to hold two opposing views in their mind at the same time and to weigh them against one another. They learn that it's possible to take a problem apart and to put it back together again in different ways. And they learn that there aren't always black and white right answers to every question, that ambiguity is possible, even desirable. They learn that it's absolutely necessary to question your assumptions and sometimes to cast them aside and other times to fall back on them again. And more important than ever this day, they learn how to respectfully disagree with someone. So that's the first NYU Shanghai difference. The second one is you'll all learn Chinese to at least an intermediate level. And some of you who've already studied Chinese will become really fluent and perhaps will learn Shanghainese or classical Chinese or both. Some of our international students, which would be all of you, feel rather sorry for themselves about this requirement because no one, including me, could ever say that Chinese is an easy language to learn. But remember that you aren't alone in having to function in more than one language. All the Chinese students, half of the student body, have to function all the time in English, which is at least their second language, as well as taking additional classes in our program in English for academic purposes. And of course, for some of you, English is not your first language. So functioning in your second or third or fourth language, as well as learning Chinese. So the short answer is that in the 21st century, being comfortably at home in English and Chinese will be a huge advantage to you your whole life long. The third NYU Shanghai difference is that you'll learn to communicate really, really effectively. We take both written and spoken communication extremely seriously here, and all of you will leave with hugely improved writing and presentation skills in a variety of different modes, whether it's for public speaking or informal exchanges or job interviews and so on. The fourth difference is that you'll all start out together taking the core curriculum at NYU Shanghai, which is the cornerstone of the liberal arts education that you'll get here. That means that all of you will take courses in the social sciences, the humanities, the sciences, mathematics, and algorithmic thinking, in addition to what you study in your chosen major. I won't say much more about that because the academic staff who are going to talk to you next will go into that in much more detail. But I'll just note that in the process of taking core courses, you'll learn quite a lot about China, much more than you would anyplace else. In short, you will not only get a broad liberal arts education, as you might anywhere, but also you'll get one that has distinctively Chinese characteristics. You'll come out of here being comfortable functioning in both Chinese and English, and you'll gain a profound knowledge and understanding of China, which is so important as a rising power in the world today. What I've learned from living here these past 8 or 9 years is that even after a whole long lifetime of studying China, admittedly mostly China in the past, I've learned more and different things just by being here and living in this cultural environment and observing the world around me than I could ever have possibly learned just from my studies. And I continue to learn every single day. Finally, and this is really distinctive to NYU Shanghai, you'll all study away for at least one semester and maybe more, pandemic permitting. Depending on your academic needs, you'll have the chance to study in New York or Abu Dhabi, those being NYU's other degree granting campuses that offer a full course of study, or in one of about a dozen other study away sites in cities in Europe, Australia, Africa, and the Americas. This is a fantastic opportunity to live and work around the world. And this is another part of the NYU Shanghai difference that's really important. You really will gain a level of comfort in different cultural settings. You'll get to know different cultures firsthand, and you'll be able to start to think of yourselves as citizens of the world. And as you become familiar with other parts of the world as well, you'll also acquire new ways of thinking about your home country, your home society and culture, as you see it from a distance, and you learn about how others think about it. So what's the point of all of this? All of this study and this travel will give you the breadth that you need to be able to be creative and come up with new ideas, to take something you've learned in one area or one place and a way of thinking and apply it in another, or to bring two very different ideas together in a new and original way. If you only ever study one subject, you don't have the opportunity to do that. And not having that opportunity holds you back from the first vital step on the path to the creative thinking that we humans are especially good at doing, and which we will need to do more and more now that machines can do so much of the routine work that we used to do. At the same time as you gain breadth of knowledge, you will gain depth of knowledge from your chosen major, which you'll get to choose from a range of both traditional and innovative possibilities. I will say that you should check out our major offerings online before you decide to come here, because if we don't offer something your heart is set on, this may not be the place for you. But you'll also see that we offer a few majors that very few other places do, including interactive media arts, which combines arts and technology, interactive media and business, which combines interactive media arts with business, data science, and combined courses in social science and humanities. We also offer quite a few classes that are team taught by professors from different areas, such as neuroscience and economics, or ethics and technology, and these are pretty unique. A couple more points that are distinctive to NYU Shanghai. First of all, I like to say that you'll be in small classes with big professors. You'll take classes that are mostly quite small. You won't have huge hundreds of other students, with professors who are mostly quite big, not physically, but in the sense that they are important scholars and fantastic teachers, and who you can actually get to know because of the relatively small size of the classes in ways you might not elsewhere. Most people do find this is a very special feature of NYU Shanghai. You will learn by active learning, and what that means is that you're not allowed as an NYU Shanghai student just to sit back and listen or sleep through a class and hope that somehow you're soaking something up. You have to learn by taking active steps. Analyzing a problem and coming up with original ideas, good or bad, are all part of the process of learning. Our students have to put their brains to work, to make presentations in class, to be ready to answer questions, and to debate and argue with the professor and their classmates. I've been teaching for 25 years before anyone said to me flat out, "No, professor, you're wrong," and that happened to me on the very first day I was teaching here. Active learning will mean that you learn more and you remember more. And part of that is that you learn to take risks by saying something which you aren't sure is right, but you want to try out. And you need to be ready to say, "Oh, I was wrong, but I wanted to try it." It's a different style of learning from what many of you may be used to. And I think you'll find that it's fun. And learning is fun at NYU Shanghai. And last of all, I just want to mention that you'll have many extraordinary extracurricular opportunities, from hearing all kinds of amazing speakers, for example, a former prime minister or a tech startup guru or a world famous performer. You'll be able to take advantage of service learning opportunities in which you give back to the community for academic credit. And you'll honestly be wowed by our fabulous program in creativity and innovation, where you can take classes in things like design thinking and music and technology, or hear talks about entrepreneurship or theatre and art from experts in the field. I could say lots more, but I'll leave it there for now. So, if all of this excites your imagination and bells are ringing in your head, if you're ready to jump forward and maybe leave your comfort zone behind, then NYU Shanghai is waiting for you with open arms, and you're going to have an amazing experience that you couldn't get anywhere else in the world and that you'll never regret. So right now, there are two questions you have to ask yourself. One is whether you will have regrets if you decide not to come, and one is whether you will have regrets if you do decide to come. And one way to think about this, I think, is best summed up by an analogy. So let me quote in closing the great English poet Alfred Lord Tennyson, who wrote that it is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna. I always love hearing that introduction, and I hope you're all getting excited, thinking ahead to your academic experience at NYU Shanghai. And up next, we have two academic advisors who are going to take you a little bit on a journey to learn more. I'm very happy today to be joined by Xixi Ni and Sammy Lee. So go ahead and take it away.
Okay, Thank you so much, Daniel, for the introduction, and thanks so much for Professor Cohen for your great introduction, as well as your introduction of the NYU Shanghai's curriculum, core courses, and etc. My name is Xixi Ni. I'm the academic advisor for Global China Studies major and the social science major. I also coordinate the first year programming, and I'm here with my colleague, Sammy.
Thank you, Xixi. Hi, my name is Sammy. I advise business and finance and business and marketing majors. I also help coordinate outbound Studyaway, and we are very excited to see our students here. And we can go to the next slide. Okay, this is our today's agenda. We will talk about academic environment, curriculum, academic resources and events, as well as Studyaway. We know that many of you have questions for your academic journeys here. We will cover most of the general questions in our today's presentation. And for some individual or specific, major specific questions, you're welcome to join our Student Experience Expo and have a one-on-one discussion with our lovely advisors. Thank you. And next. Xixi will first introduce the academic environment.
Okay. Thank you, Sammy. So we'll start by introduce briefly about NYU Shanghai's academic environment. So as introduced by Professor Cohen, NYU Shanghai is a small liberal arts college with a close community environment. We currently have 1,300 undergraduate students. So half of our NYU Shanghai students are from across China, and the other half are from more than 70 countries around the world. So you will be able to participate in cross-cultural communications, personally, academically, and professionally on a daily basis. So with a 8:1 student to faculty ratio, NYU Shanghai offers small class sizes, which enables deep learning, discourse, as well as free debates with our world-renowned faculty. Students also have many opportunities to conduct their own research with their course instructors, as well as faculty members. NYU Shanghai also provides a wide range of academic majors as well as minor options, and I will introduce it in detail in the next slide. Thank you. So NYU Shanghai currently offers 19 diverse majors ranging from math to social science, interactive media arts to data science, business to global China studies, etc. The school also offers numerous multidisciplinary minors for students to explore their interests outside these 19 major options. Research practices and experiential learning opportunities are well integrated in each major. Students can declare majors between first year spring semester and second year spring semester. Students are also welcome to discuss their academic interests and major plans with the academic advisors during this exploration phase. The Academic Advising Office also offers major exploration events each academic semester to help students explore their options, connect with major faculty, upper class students, and finalize their choices. We'll introduce that in later slide as well. Next slide. So as you can see that each major has its own major pathways and curriculum plans. Major area heads, coordinators, and major specific academic advisors also work closely to provide holistic support for students in each major. From some of the pre-collected questions we received, students asked for some specific major related questions. So now let's take a look at a particular major website, social science. So as you can see that each major has its own major website along with its brief introduction. Would you mind scrolling down? Thank you. Specific degree requirement with course specific courses. Social science major has 8 tracks. So you can see all the courses available in each individual social science track, such as international relations, environmental science, and etc. Would you mind scrolling down? So, and you can also see some of the, there are recommended courses, faculty mentors that you can consult with in regarding to the major pathways, as well as some of the major curriculum worksheet that the Academic Advising Office provides for students to explore and to track their own, their particular degree requirements. Okay, thank you. So at NYU Shanghai, would you mind moving back, Daniel? Thank you. At NYU Shanghai, all majors are open to students with no prior knowledge. You can declare a particular major as long as you have completed the relevant major prerequisite courses. So for instance, some students ask if they need prior programming skills in order to major in computer science, data science, or interactive media arts major. The answer is not necessary. So for the computer science and data science major, students can start with the introductory course, Intro to Computer Programming, and for the interactive media arts major, students can start with the introductory course, Interaction Lab or Communication Lab, or etc. Okay. So from the pre-collected questions we received, some of them ask very specific questions, like we discussed earlier, social science major or data science major or the self-designed honors major. You're welcome to join the Student Experience Expo and have this one-on-one discussion with our academic advisors. Okay, next slide. So next part, I will introduce briefly about the NYU Shanghai's curriculum. So as a multidimensional and international higher education institution, NYU Shanghai seeks to provide students with this globally oriented foundation in liberal arts and sciences. Specifically, our core curriculum is designed to engage students in a variety of disciplines and topics, develop their ability to read, think, and write critically, and cultivate tolerance for ambiguity, as well as respect for diversity of opinions. There are 7 components to the NYU Shanghai's core curriculum: social foundations, culture foundations, writing, mathematics, science, algorithmic thinking, and language. So we'll go into each sections in detail. So as you can see that this chart is color coded. So all the categories that are colored in light blue are the actual course title, and all the sections that are colored in light green are the category names. Okay. So in the social foundation section, students will need to take a class called Global Perspectives on Society during their first year fall semester, and any approved courses under the category Social Science Perspectives on China SSPC. In Culture Foundations, all students will take a class called Perspectives on the Humanities, POH, during the sophomore fall semester, and any approved class under the category Humanistic Perspectives on China, HPC. We'll also discuss the social foundations and culture foundations, specifically the SSPC and the HPC category in detail in later slides. For the writing section, students will need to take a class called Writing as Inquiry, as well, along with the POH Perspectives on Humanities that they take from the Culture Foundations. In the mathematics section, students will need to take a 1 4-credit math course, or they can choose to take the placement exam to place into calculus. In the science section, students will need to take 2 courses from the following category: experimental discovery in the natural world. So for instance, courses such as the foundations of chemistry, intro to psychology, etc. And another approved course from the science, technology, and society, courses such as China and environment. And the next section is the algorithmic thinking. Students will need to take 1 4-credit class from this category. Some of the sample courses will include Intro to Computer Programming, Intro to Computer Science, and Interaction Lab. And last but not least, students will need to take language courses. We'll also discuss that in later slides. So for Chinese students, they will need to take 2 English for academic purposes courses. And for our non-Chinese students, you will need to take Chinese courses up until the intermediate Chinese 2, or you can take the placement exam and pass the intermediate Chinese 2 level. Great. Next slide. So some of you might be a little bit confused about courses under the social and cultural foundations. So courses in the social and cultural foundations provide students with a thematic framework within which to study influential works of diverse cultures. Students will reflect on fundamental and enduring questions about what it means to be human and how we as individuals live in the society. So we'll specifically look at the 2 categories, SSPC, Social Science Perspectives on China, and HPC, Humanistic Perspectives on China. So SSPC courses explore Chinese societies in depth and in comparative perspectives. So you can see here are some of the sample courses: Urbanization in China, the Chinese family, US-China relations, China and the environment, etc. HPC courses provide in-depth understanding of Chinese history, philosophy, culture, art, literature. So here are some of the sample courses: History of Chinese Art, Masters of Asian Cinema, Shanghai Stories, Introduction to Chinese Philosophy. Okay, next slide. So language study is central to the educational mission of NYU Shanghai. All students will be expected to use English and Chinese for a range of communicative purposes. So while for Chinese students, they are required to take EAP courses, international students will need to have a successful completion of intermediate Chinese 2 or pass the equivalent language proficiency. So NYU Shanghai offers a wide range of Chinese language courses based on your previous and current language level, ranging from elementary Chinese 1, 2, intermediate Chinese 1, 2, to advanced and post-advanced level Chinese courses. Some students might be concerned about not having any Chinese language experience at all. Actually, a large number of our incoming first-year students have not taken any Chinese courses before coming to NYU Shanghai. Our elementary Chinese 1 course is designed for students with no prior language experience. Please do understand that Chinese language is part of the graduation requirement, at least as well as the core curriculum requirements. Chinese language learning can be challenging and rigorous, as already introduced by Professor Cohen. But at the same time, you will have a greater language immersion experiences along with the support of our very robust Chinese instructors, Chinese peers, as well as a very interactive learning environment. Okay. So what courses do students typically take during their first year? Let's take a look. For each semester, students typically take 4 4-credit courses to fulfill their degree requirement or to explore their particular interests, a total of 16 to 18 credits per semester. During their first year fall semester, students will take the following required courses: Global Perspectives on Society, GPS, a particular Chinese language course, any course ranging from elementary Chinese 1 to intermediate Chinese 2, and a math course in alignment with your particular level. Student can then choose one general elective, either to explore their academic interests or to fulfill a particular core or major requirement. During the first year spring semester, students will take the required writing as inquiry class, an upper level Chinese language class, and 2 general electives of their own selections. Please note that natural science major students, for students who are interested in pursuing chemistry, biology, physics, neuroscience, they will have a slightly different first year schedule. They are required to take the Foundations of Science courses during their first year. Okay, next slide. I will then pass the presentation to my colleague Sammy Lee, who will introduce the Academic Advising Office, as well as the various academic resources and events at NYU Shanghai.
Okay, thank you, Xixi. I'll take over and talk about academic resources and events first. So next slide, please. Both Xixi and I are from the Office of Academic Advising. So what is academic advising? Let's take a look. Academic advising is an ongoing developmental dialogue between students and advisors to help students explore their pathways to academic and personal goals. As you can see from the pictures, we are a team of 12 academic advisors under the leadership of our Assistant Dean for Academic Affairs, Dr. Lawrence Sinclair. Each advisor specializes in advising particular majors, like Xixi advise GCS and social science students, and I advise business students. Like students can schedule one-on-one meetings with their assigned academic advisors to discuss like major exploration, academic plans, and course selections. And also we can discuss academic degree progress to make sure everyone can graduate on time. And if you have questions about our policies and procedures, we are happy to explain our policies and procedures like pathways, ed and job, or wage draws. Yes. And also for students who have any struggles or academic challenges, we are happy to refer university resources and the services. Yes. And through the advising conversations, we aim to help students enhance their motivation and develop strategies to succeed academically, professionally, and personally. And I'd like to let you know that both advisors and the students have shared responsibilities to make this happen. Okay, next slide, please. So in addition to one-on-one advising meetings, we also offers the following programs: major exploration, Studyaway, and graduate school blast. So for major exploration, each semester, we run a series of major specific info sessions for students to explore potential majors. Students will also have a chance to hear from the area heads, faculty members, academic advisors, and the upper class students about the major pathways, as well as structures, curriculum, career pathways, and to finalize their major choices. And for Studyaway events, I will talk about it later in our Studyaway sections. And for graduate school blast, this is for students who are interested in applying for graduate schools after graduation, and you will have a chance to learn about the various graduate school opportunities and also learn how to prepare for the application. And we know some of the students inquired about the pre-law or pre-house school applications. We also have pre-law and pre-house sessions during the graduate school blast, and you're welcome to join the sessions to learn more about the relevant resources and application process. Yes, I'd like to point out that like many American universities, we don't have pre-law or pre-med majors, but as in like generally, most of the pre-med med or law schools don't have a specific favor to a particular major. At the same time, we have some relevant courses to prepare students for further study in law or med schools. We also have specialized pre-law and pre-house advisors to help develop your academic plans for you to prepare for the law schools and math schools. Thank you. And next slide, please. Okay, so I'd like to introduce another office to you, Academic Resource Center, what we call ARC. ARC is the office to help students in developing the knowledge base, skills, and strategies that will help them to become confident, independent, and active learners. As you can see from the slides, the ARC office offers writing and speaking consultations, course-specific tutorings, academic skills coachings, as well as workshops to help students meet the challenge of NYU's rigorous academic standards. For students who have challenges in their courses, they are welcome to utilize the resources offered by ARC to develop their academic skills. As Shishi mentioned before, every student need to take GPS, Global Perspectives on Society, in their first semester. And this course is a little bit like writing and speaking heavy. So if students have any challenges in this course, I'd like to let you know that ARC offers workshops on reading, writing, and public speaking for you to succeed in the course. Thank you. Now we can move on to the next slide. Yes, we also have a lot of research opportunities for students to enrich their academic experiences. For summer research, I'd like to talk about our Dean's Undergraduate Research Fund. This is our flagship funding program for undergraduate students outside of the academic year. The program annually funds students' summer research, and the projects are presented in each fall at the annual NYU Shanghai Undergraduate Research Symposium. As you can see from the two pictures, the two students are presenting their DERF projects at the symposium, and the project was about parking navigation system. Yes, and then I will talk about independent study. This is a chance for students to work closely with the faculty advisors on a particular area of their interest if the topic is not covered in the NYU Shanghai curriculum. Yes, and business honors program. This is for students major in business, economics, and data science with excellent academic performance. We will invite them to this program and have a year-long research program with our amazing faculty members. And this is a program that goes parallel with STEM honors program. So students will have a chance to work with NYU Shanghai students as well as STEM faculty members. And capstone. So for some majors, students are supposed to complete a capstone project in their senior year. During the project, students will need to conceptualize, research, and create an independent project based on the particular areas of their interest after studying the major. Yes. Can we go to next? Yeah, thank you. So after introduce our academic resources and events, now I will talk about our exciting Studyaway program as I coordinate outbound Studyaway. So I'm very happy to share this information with you. So as Provost Cohen mentioned before, all NYU Shanghai students are required to spend at least one semester studying away, and you may choose from our various study away locations. As you know, global education features our educational missions and the curriculum. And students may choose from like various Studyaway location. We have 2 degree granting campuses, New York or Abu Dhabi. We have 12 NYU global academic centers, such as Accra, Berlin, and etc. Or if you would like to pursue some different pathways outside our NYU global network, you also have a choice to enroll in the international exchange program with our partner universities. And I see from the question list that some students are interested in majoring in business and wonder whether they can apply to New York and take STEM courses. The answer would be yes. You may apply to Studyaway in New York, and the global admissions will make final decisions. We have student may admitted to New York can go to New York and take STEM courses. And at the meantime, I'd like to let you know that we also have business courses sponsored by STEM and offered at global sites such as London. So you can still take STEM courses at different Studyaway locations. And I'd like to let you know that some students are concerned about the pandemic. So due to the pandemic, the Studyaway program has been suspended for 3 semesters since spring 2020. But if condition allows, we are hopeful to see that Studyaway programs becomes available again in the upcoming fall semesters. Thank you. And yes, so now I'll talk about how students can benefit from Studyaway. And academic-wise, students can take major elective and core curriculum courses at the Studyaway sites. I see that some students ask that whether they can take in global GNU minors. I would say taking 2 GNU minors would be feasible upon careful planning. Like usually students are required to take 4 courses for the GNU minor, and at least 3 need to be taken at Studyaway sites, and at least 2 of them should be taken at the 12 global academic centers. I would advise you to discuss with your academic plans with your assigned academic advisors after you come to NYU Shanghai. Yes. And I also see some students are interested in psychology. So I'd like to let you know that we have cross-school minors, psychology minor offered by College of Arts and Science in New York, which students would be able to choose at NYU Shanghai as well. And also we have GNU minor called Psychological Studies, where you can also complete the minor while Studyaway. So I would also recommend you to discuss your academic plans with your assigned advisors to see how you can plan out your plans. Yes. And now I will talk about the career development. As you know, there are a variety of internship and volunteer opportunities at the global sites to enrich your experiential learning experiences pending local policy. And also personal development wise, this is also a great chance for culture exchange and to meet with people from diverse backgrounds. And we have some sites that are located in the non-English speaking countries like Madrid or Florence. You will have a chance to learn local languages and get fully immersed in the local environment. Okay, now we can go to the next slide. Some of the students are like curious about when and for how long they can study away. So now I will talk about our study away policies as well as the eligibilities. So students may choose to study away for up to 2 semesters within the fall semester window of sophomore spring semester through senior fall semester. You can apply to any of the global academic centers in your sophomore spring semester. And starting from your junior year, you can also apply to New York or Abu Dhabi. To be eligible to Studyaway, you are supposed to maintain a good academic standing. And as international students, you are required to complete elementary Chinese 2 before you study away. Okay, thank you. Now I will talk about our Studyaway events. As I mentioned before, we run the series of Studyaway events for our students. So these are actually hosted in the different phases of our Studyaway cycle. Usually 1 year before students study away, we will have a global week. There will be a series of Studyaway info sessions for students to explore the global network as well as to decide their Studyaway locations. And 1 semester before the Studyaway, we will have pre-departure orientation for students to learn how to prepare for their Studyaway life, as well as to connect with the local community. And after students come back, we will host re-entry program to welcome our students. You will also have a chance to reunion with your senior peers and reflect on your global experiences. Okay, I think that's it for today's presentation. We believe we've covered most of the pre-collected questions in our presentation, and we hope now you will learn more about the NYU Shanghai's academic environment and are excited about your upcoming academic journey here at NYU Shanghai. And I see there are additional questions. For additional questions, individual or major specific questions, you are again welcome to join the Student Experience Expo and have a one-on-one discussion with our lovely academic advisors. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Sammy. Thank you, Shishi. And then of course, thank you, Joanna. That was a really wonderful session. I hope you all learned a lot about that, about the academics at NYU Shanghai. I hope you're starting to look ahead and think about all the different things you can explore as a student at NYU Shanghai. It's a very exciting time. And speaking of exciting time, right now we have a lot of other events to look ahead to. Up next, I hope you'll join us for the alumni panel. We'll be joined by some really wonderful NYU Shanghai alumni to get a sense of where their NYU Shanghai journey has taken them and the things that they've got going on right now. So please join us for that. And then looking ahead beyond that, we will have a campus tour and residence hall tour. So you'll be able to get a sense of our campus community, but also what the residential space will look like as well. And then followed by a student meet and greet where you can meet your fellow classmates, but also meet some current students as well. It's just a great kind of like networking event to get to meet some new people. And at the same time, while that is occurring, the campus tour and residential hall tour and the student meet and greet, we do have our student experience expos. You can head over to that to chat one-on-one with a number of different people. You could chat one-on-one with admissions, residential life, student involvement, athletics, health and wellness, academic advising, new student and diversity programs, Chinese language development, and last but not least, the Career Development Center. So I hope you're excited to get all your questions answered there. And then looking ahead, this is not even the end of this journey. We have a number of exciting events coming up. I'm very excited to lead a parents panel. That'll be happening next week. Your parents should have received an email about that, but if not, you could reach out. We'll make sure they get that sign up link. They're not going to want to miss that. It's going to be a really exciting event. We'll also have a Living and Learning in China event to learn a little bit more about what it's like to study in China and to live in China and to have China be an extension of your classroom and everything that comes with that. I mentioned we'll have more student meet and greets as well. So don't worry if you can't make the one today, there'll be other opportunities for that. And of course, more one-on-one admitted student chats as well. You can register for that at the home base of this of Pathable. So I hope to see you signing up for a lot of those. But with that, this concludes your academic journey. And thank you very much again. Hope to see you at some future events.